Hey everyone, welcome to SarteK programming. This is the part 3 of loops in Python video, and if you haven't checked first two parts, do check them out. We have already covered while loop, for loop, break and continue statement in the previous videos. In this video, we will be covering nested loops. So before starting with it, if you haven't accessed this playlist, consider accessing it now. Now let's look at nested loops with an example. So consider we have been asked to write a program to print this pattern. So as we can see that there are 25 asterisks in total, divided in 5 rows and 5 columns. So like there are 5 rows and 5 columns, and each row and column contains 5 asterisks. So how are we gonna print this? So to print this, we'll be needing something called nested loops. So what do we mean by nested loops? Nested loops means a loop inside another loop, and we will see how we will print this pattern. But before knowing how to print this pattern, we will first see how are we gonna print this pattern. So here we don't have 5 columns. Here we don't have 5 rows. We just have one row, and there are 5 asterisks that we have to print. So like this is what we can do from the knowledge that we have up till now, from the knowledge of for loop and while loop. So first we will see how do we print this 5 asterisks just in a row, and let's see. So I will write like this. Since we have to print 5 asterisks, we'll go from 0 to 5 and we'll print asterisks. So if I run this, but if you notice, we are getting it vertically. We don't want it vertically, we want it horizontally. So there's this line that we need to add, so that instead of ending it on a different line, it will end it with a space. So after this asterisk, there will be a space, and then asterisk, and then again space. And now we have solved our first question. We have printed this 5 asterisks, but now we have to solve this bigger question, in which we are printing this 5 asterisks, but we are printing this 5 asterisks for 5 times. So see, this is 1 time, this is 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, and 5 times. What we are basically doing is we are just printing this 5 asterisks 5 times. I hope you are getting the point that I'm trying to make. What I'm saying is that we are just printing this 5 asterisks 5 times. So there are one way that you can do is you can just copy paste this and write it 5 times, so that we get our desired output. So I will write it 5 times, and let's see. So this will give us our desired output. Now since I've ended this with space, here all 25 come in one line, so I will need to add this line before after every loop. So if I write like this, this will give us our desired output. See, we got what we wanted, but we are writing this same line for 5 times. Do we really need to do this? The reason we use loops is to avoid redundancy. We don't want to write same thing again and again. That's the reason we use loops. So can we do something about this? Actually we can use loops again, but you will say that we have already used loops. But that's the catch. We are gonna use loops inside loops, and that's what's called nested loop. So what we will do is we'll come here, we will hit an enter, we will write another loop, and again, since we have to print this for 5 times, I will write 5, and see, I will have to hit a tab here because I want to write this line inside this. So I will hit a tab, and now this is done. And now we have to print \n. We have to add a line after every 5 iterations. So this j will run for 5 times, and then we will print this line. I will dry run this again, but first I will run this, and you see we got the output that we wanted. So we print the pattern that we wanted. Now if I changed this to 6, what do you think will happen? What will the rows change or will the columns change? So the columns will change. There will be 6 asterisks on every row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If I change it to 10, so there will be 10 asterisks on each row. And now if I change it to 2, we will get 2 rows with 10 asterisks. See, as simple as that. So now let's see how this works. I will write a small number here so that I can dry run it. So 4 columns and 2 rows. So what will happen is, first the value of I will be 0. In the first iteration, the value of I is 0. Okay. Then we'll come inside this for loop, and in this for loop the value of j will be 0. So now I is 0 and j is 0 as well. Then we will print asterisk. So this first asterisk is printed now, and then we will add this space after it. So after this line is executed, the value of j will be incremented by 1. So now the value of j will be changed from 0 to 1, and we will check if 1 is less than 4, which is true. So we will print an asterisk again. Then the value of j will be incremented to 2, and we will check if 2 is less than 4, which is true. So we will come and print an asterisk again. Then the value of j will be 3. We will check if 3 is less than 4, which is true. So an asterisk will be printed again. So now we have printed this asterisk. Then the value of j will be 4. Now the value of j is 4, and is 4 less than 4? No, since it is false, will come outside of this loop. So we will come outside of this loop, and control will come here and will print a line. So see, we have printed a line, and then the value of I now will be incremented to 1, and then we will again go inside this loop again, and then the value of j would turn again to 0, and now this will run again for 4 times, for j equals to 1, j equals to 2, j equals to 3, and then again the control will come here, and then value of I will be 2, and as soon as the value of I gets 2, we will check if 2 is less than 2, which is false. So we won't do anything. The control will come out of both the loops and will have this as a output. So that's how nesting loop works. We can obviously make use of while inside for or for inside while. I will show you while inside for. So for that I will have to come here. Instead of for, I will have to write j equals to 0, and while j is less than 4, we are going for 4, and we will print this, and this will work just fine. But we'll have to increment j manually here. We'll come and we'll write like this. Okay, sorry, we'll come and write like this, and it will work just fine. So we have covered everything related to loops. Now in the next part we'll be starting with data structures in Python. We'll start with list, then we'll look at tuples, then sets, and then dictionaries. So thanks for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one.